Olivia Clark sat at her desk in NASA's Deep Space Communications Center, her eyes fixed on her computer screen. It was just past midnight, and she was the only one still working. The center was quiet except for the soft hum of computers and the occasional beep from the monitoring systems. She took a sip of her cold coffee and rubbed her tired eyes. As chief of communications, Olivia often worked late, listening for signals from space. Most nights were uneventful. This night would be different. The first sign was a small spike on her readings. Olivia leaned forward, thinking it might be a glitch. Then it happened again. Stronger this time. She tapped a few keys, adjusting the satellite dish to focus on the signal's source. "That's strange," she whispered to herself. The signal grew stronger by the second. Olivia's heart beat faster as she realized this was no ordinary cosmic noise. The pattern was too regular, too deliberate. She reached for her phone to call her boss when every screen in the room suddenly filled with the same message. "We come to protect. Danger approaches Earth." Olivia froze, her hand still on the phone. The message repeated in several Earth languages. This couldn't be happening. Not during her shift, not ever. She finally found her voice and called Alan West, the center's senior scientist. "Alan, you need to get here now," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Olivia, it's past midnight. What's going on?" I think we just made first contact." 30 minutes later, Alan rushed into the room, still wearing pajama pants under his hastily buttoned coat. His gray hair stuck out in all directions. "Show me," he said without greeting. Olivia pointed to the screens, all still displaying the same message. "It started about 25 minutes ago. The signal is coming from just beyond the moon." Alan stared at the screens. "Have you replied?" "Not yet. I wanted you here first." Alan nodded and sat down at a terminal. "Let's see what we're dealing with." Before he could type anything, the screens changed. A new message appeared. "We will arrive in 6 hours. Please inform your leaders." Alan and Olivia looked at each other. This was really happening. "I'll call the director," Alan said, reaching for the emergency phone. Word spread quickly. By dawn, the center was filled with scientists, military personnel, and government officials. The president had been informed. The world's major powers were on high alert. Olivia hadn't left her post. She continued monitoring the signal, which had gone quiet after the last message. The waiting was the hardest part. "Anything new?" Alan asked, bringing her a fresh cup of coffee. She shook her head. "Nothing since the arrival message." Alan sat next to her. "So, aliens are coming to protect us. From what? And why us?" "I don't know. But they'll be here soon." As if on cue, the radar system began beeping loudly. A massive object had entered Earth's orbit. The room fell silent. Everyone stared at the main screen showing the radar image. The object was huge, at least a mile long. "It's a ship," someone whispered. The object moved into position above North America and stopped. Smaller objects separated from it and began descending toward Earth. Phones rang throughout the center as reports came in from around the world. The smaller objects had been spotted in the sky. They were heading toward major cities. One was coming directly to them. "Everyone stay calm," the center's director ordered. "Let's see what they want." Outside, the staff gathered in the parking lot, watching the sky. A sleek, silver craft, the size of a small airplane, descended silently and hovered about 50 feet above the ground. A beam of pale blue light extended from its bottom, touching the pavement. Within the light, a figure took shape. Tall and slender with silvery skin that seemed to shimmer in the morning sun. Its head was slightly larger than a human's, with large, multifaceted eyes that reflected like opals. It had no visible mouth, but when it spoke, the words formed directly in their minds. "I am Zirvax of the Galactic Protectorate. We have come to save your world." The crowd murmured nervously. Armed soldiers raised their weapons slightly. Olivia felt drawn forward. As the lead communications officer, this was her job. She stepped toward the alien, stopping just outside the blue light. My name is Olivia Clark. I received your message. What danger threatens Earth? The alien's eyes shifted color slightly. A quantum disturbance approaches your solar system. It will destabilize your planet's core in 30 of your days if not prevented. Alan stepped forward to join Olivia. We have advanced monitoring systems. We've detected no such threat. Your technology cannot detect this phenomenon, Zervax replied. It exists in quantum dimensions your science has not yet discovered. Alan laughed nervously. So you traveled across the galaxy to save us from something we can't see or verify? That's convenient. The alien tilted its head. You doubt our intentions? Let's just say throughout human history, promises of protection often precede conquest, Alan said. We have no interest in conquest, Zervax replied. We only wish to prevent your extinction. By now, government officials had arrived. A black car pulled up, and a stern-looking woman in a dark suit stepped out. She introduced herself as Linda Baker from the State Department. We'll need proof of this threat, she said to the alien, and we'll need to know exactly what your intervention will involve. Zervax seemed confused by their response. You require proof before accepting help? Is survival not reason enough? Not without verification, Linda replied firmly. Similar scenes were playing out in capitals around the world. In every location, the aliens met skepticism and demands for proof. At the United Nations in New York, another alien representative addressed an emergency session of the Security Council. The world watched as humanity's leaders questioned the aliens' motives. President Kate Harrison addressed the nation that evening from the Oval Office. We are approaching this situation with appropriate caution, she said. While we do not reject the possibility of this threat, we cannot simply accept it without evidence. Social media exploded with memes and jokes. Aliens traveled light years to fix a problem we can't see. Next, they'll try to sell us extended warranties, read one popular post back at NASA. Olivia watched the alien ship hovering silently above their facility. Unlike most of her colleagues, she felt uneasy about dismissing their warning so quickly. What if they're telling the truth? She asked Alan as they watched the ship from a window. Alan shrugged. Then they'd better start providing some real evidence, fast, because right now this whole thing feels like a cosmic joke and humans aren't laughing. 3 days passed since the aliens arrived. Their ships remained in orbit, a constant reminder of their presence. Smaller craft hovered above major cities around the world. People adjusted to the new normal surprisingly quickly. Some even took selfies with the alien ships in the background. Olivia hadn't slept much. As NASA's lead communicator with the aliens, she spent most of her time trying to understand their warnings. The alien called Zervax requested a meeting with Earth's top scientists. The meeting was set for today. Olivia stood in the large conference room at NASA headquarters. Scientists from around the world filled the seats. Alan sat in the front row, his notebook ready. The room fell silent as Zervax entered, flanked by 2 other aliens. Thank you for gathering, Zervax said, the words forming in everyone's minds. We will now show you the threat. One of the aliens stepped forward and raised a small device. A hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed Earth and the surrounding space. Then the image zoomed out to show the solar system. A strange ripple appeared at the edge of the hologram. This is the quantum disturbance, Zervax explained. It moves through dimensions your instruments cannot detect. It will reach Earth in 27 days. The hologram showed the ripple hitting Earth. The planet's core began to pulse with unstable energy. Earthquakes spread across the surface. Volcanoes erupted. Within days, the simulation showed Earth becoming unstable and breaking apart. The room was silent. Some scientists looked frightened. Others seemed skeptical. Dr. Samantha Lee, a quantum physicist from Stanford University, raised her hand. This phenomenon operates outside known physics. How can we verify it exists? Zervax turned to her. Your planet has already experienced early signs, minor seismic events in unexpected locations, small gravitational anomalies. Your instruments recorded these, but you did not connect them. Samantha frowned. What seismic events? The small earthquake in Kansas 3 days ago. The unusual tides in the Mediterranean yesterday. The brief gravity fluctuation in Sydney this morning. Samantha looked at her colleagues with concern. These events had indeed happened. They were small and seemed unrelated, but they were real. Alan stood up. Even if these events are connected, how do we know they lead to the disaster you're predicting? We have observed this phenomenon destroy 12 worlds in the last 1,000 years, Zirvax replied. We have learned to predict its path and effects. And you can stop it? Olivia asked. Yes. Our ships carry technology that can redirect the quantum energies away from your planet, but we must begin preparations now. The scientists broke into small groups, discussing the aliens' claims. Some believed the warning. Others thought it might be a trick. Later that day, Zirvax requested a global broadcast to share the warning with all humans. World leaders reluctantly agreed. At noon Eastern Time, televisions, radios, and internet streams around the world carried the aliens' message. Olivia watched from the control room as Zirvax explained the threat to humanity. The alien showed the same hologram simulation and listed the strange events already happening on Earth. Zirvax explained that the Protectorate needed to place special devices in orbit around Earth to redirect the quantum wave. When the broadcast ended, Olivia checked social media. The public reaction was mixed. Many people made jokes about the alien warning. Late-night TV host Greg Bell quipped, "Aliens traveled across space to save us from quantum ripples. Next, they'll warn us about space mosquitoes." But not everyone was laughing. Samantha Lee returned to her lab at Stanford and began checking the aliens' claims. She analyzed data from seismic monitors worldwide. To her surprise, there was a pattern in the recent small earthquakes. They were happening in places with no history of seismic activity. Samantha called Olivia. "I think the aliens might be telling the truth," she said. "These earthquakes make no sense according to our models, and they're increasing in frequency." Olivia felt a chill. "Have you told anyone else?" "I sent my findings to the international science team. But without more data, it's hard to convince the skeptics." The next day, the Protectorate ships began deploying satellites around Earth. This caused immediate alarm among military leaders. General Paul Summers demanded an emergency meeting with the President. "Madam President, they're positioning weapons around our planet," General Summers insisted. "We need to act now." President Kate Harrison looked tired. She had been dealing with the alien situation for days with little sleep. "The aliens say these are devices to track and deflect the quantum wave." "And you believe them?" the general asked. The president sighed. "I don't know what to believe, but Dr. Lee's report shows unusual seismic activity that matches the aliens' predictions." "It could be a coincidence," the general argued. "Or worse, they might be causing these events themselves to make their story believable." Olivia was invited to the White House meeting as the main communicator with the aliens. "Zirvax says we'll see more signs in the coming days," she explained. "The quantum wave is getting closer." "How convenient," the general muttered. As they debated, news came in of another unusual event. The Mediterranean Sea had dropped 3 feet in level along the Italian coast, then returned to normal 2 hours later. Scientists had no explanation. That evening, Olivia met with Zirvax at NASA headquarters. The alien seemed troubled. "Your people still doubt us," Zirvax said. "Why is it so difficult for humans to accept help?" Olivia chose her words carefully. "Throughout our history, we've learned to be cautious of those offering protection. Often, there's a hidden cost." "There is no cost," Zirvax replied. "We do this because it is right. Long ago, another species saved our world. We now do the same for others." "Not everyone thinks that way on Earth," Olivia explained. "We have noticed," Zirvax said. "Your television entertainment shows many stories of hostile aliens. Is this how you see all beings from other worlds?" Olivia couldn't help but smile. "We fear what we don't understand, and we've never met aliens before." "Until now," Zirvax said. "And still you fear us, even as we try to save you." Outside the window, they could see one of the alien ships hovering silently in the distance. Around the world, more unusual events were being reported. Earth was changing just as the aliens had warned. The question was, would humanity accept the aliens' help before it was too late? 2 weeks had passed since the aliens arrived. The strange events around the world were happening more often. In Brazil, a lake disappeared overnight. In Japan, gravity weakened for 3 minutes, causing objects to float slightly above the ground. In Egypt, the pyramids glowed with a faint blue light for an hour. Scientists worked day and night to understand these events. Samantha Lee had not left her lab at Stanford for days. She studied data from around the world, looking for patterns. The aliens were right, she told Olivia during a video call. These events match their predictions exactly. The quantum wave is real, and it's getting closer. Olivia nodded. She had started to believe the aliens from the beginning, but now she had proof. Have you shared this with the president? Yes. I'm presenting my findings to world leaders tomorrow at the United Nations. Olivia looked tired. Be ready for hard questions. Many people still think this is a trick. The next day, the United Nations held an emergency meeting. Representatives from every country gathered to hear Samantha's presentation. The room was tense. Some nations wanted to work with the aliens. Others wanted to fight them. Samantha showed her data on the large screens. Graphs and charts displayed the increasing frequency of strange events. Maps showed where these events happened, forming a pattern that matched the aliens' predictions. The evidence is clear, Samantha concluded. The quantum wave is real, and it will reach full strength in 16 days. If the aliens don't help us, Earth will be destroyed. The room erupted in argument. The Russian representative stood up. How do we know the aliens aren't causing these events themselves? The Chinese representative agreed. This could be a clever invasion plan. They create a fake crisis, then offer to save us while taking control. The debate continued for hours. In the end, the United Nations remained divided. They could not agree on what to do. Meanwhile, the Protectorate ships continued placing their devices in orbit. Large, round satellites surrounded Earth like a net. The aliens said these would redirect the quantum wave when it hit. General Summers watched the alien ships with growing concern. In a secure room at the Pentagon, he met with military leaders from several countries. We can't just let them build this network around our planet, he said. What if these are weapons? My government agrees, said a French general. We should destroy one of these devices and see what happens. The room grew quiet. Attacking the aliens would be risky. What if they really were trying to help? Before we take action, said a British admiral, we should consult with Dr. Lee and the scientists who believe the alien threat is real. General Summers nodded reluctantly. Fine. But we need to be ready to act quickly if necessary. At the White House, President Harrison met with her advisors. The room was divided, just like the United Nations. Madam President, the evidence supports the aliens' claims, said the science advisor. Dr. Lee's data is convincing, but we can't rule out deception, argued the national security advisor. This could be the most elaborate invasion plan in history. The president looked out the window at the alien ship hovering over Washington. If they wanted to attack us, why haven't they? They have far superior technology. To avoid damaging what they want to take, General Summers suggested. Earth has resources they might need. President Harrison turned back to the room. I want to meet with the alien leader directly. No staff, no advisors, just me and their commander. Her team protested, but her mind was made up. Set it up for tomorrow. Olivia received the request and passed it to Zirvax. The alien agreed immediately. The next day in the Oval Office, President Harrison met with Zirvax alone. Secret Service agents waited nervously outside. Thank you for coming, the president said. I wanted to speak with you directly without filters or intermediaries. I appreciate your wisdom, Zirvax replied. Direct communication prevents misunderstanding. The president got straight to the point. Many of my advisors believe your story about the quantum wave is a cover for invasion. They see your orbital devices as weapons. They are not weapons, Zirvax said. They are shields. They will absorb and redirect the quantum energy away from Earth. Why help us? What do you gain? Zervax was quiet for a moment. Long ago, when our civilization was young, another species saved us from a similar fate. We promised to do the same for others. We gain nothing but the continuation of that promise. The president studied the alien carefully. Some humans want to attack your ships and devices. They fear what they don't understand. We know. We have detected your military preparations. If you attack us, we will not fight back. But we also cannot save your world. That doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you defend yourselves? Because we do not fight. It is our most sacred principle. We would rather die than cause harm. The president looked surprised. This was not what she expected. After the meeting, President Harrison addressed the nation. She explained the aliens' mission and the evidence supporting their claims. She urged patience and cooperation, but not everyone was convinced. On social media, conspiracy theories spread. People claimed the aliens were controlling the president's mind. Others said the strange events were special effects created by the government. General Summers watched the president's speech with a frown. He turned to his aide. Prepare the operation. We move tomorrow. Early the next morning, missiles launched from submarines in the Pacific Ocean. They targeted one of the alien devices in orbit. The world watched in horror as the missiles climbed higher. Olivia was awakened by an urgent call. The military has launched an attack on the alien device, Alan told her. Get to the center immediately. When she arrived, the control room was in chaos. Screens showed the missiles approaching the alien device. But before they could hit, the missiles suddenly stopped in midair. They hung there, frozen in space. Zervax appeared on the main screen. We have stopped your weapons to prevent harm. We understand your fear, but time grows short. The quantum wave accelerates. We estimate it will now reach Earth in 7 days, not 16 as previously calculated. Olivia felt a chill. Why has it sped up? The early effects have weakened your planet's quantum field. This always happens, but we had hoped for more time. On screens around the world, people watched as the frozen missiles were gently moved away from the alien device and placed in stable orbit. General Summers stared at his screen in disbelief. The aliens could have destroyed the missiles but chose not to. Maybe, just maybe, they really were here to help. 3 days had passed since the failed missile attack. The world was changing faster now. People could no longer deny something strange was happening. Water flowed uphill in some places. Time moved differently in small areas around the world. In a town in Ohio, rain fell upward for 5 minutes. The Protectorate ships worked quickly to complete their defensive network around Earth. Large energy converters hovered at strategic points in orbit. The aliens explained that these would absorb and redirect the quantum wave when it hit. Olivia spent most of her time at NASA's Communication Center, relaying information between the aliens and Earth's scientists. She was exhausted but couldn't stop working. The fate of the world depended on this cooperation. You should rest, Alan told her, bringing her a sandwich. You've been awake for almost 30 hours. Olivia shook her head. I can't. There's too much to do. Alan sat beside her. I was wrong about the aliens. I thought they were tricking us. Many people did, Olivia said. Fear is a natural response to the unknown. Their conversation was interrupted when all the computers began beeping. At once, alerts flashed on every screen. What's happening? Alan asked. Olivia checked the readings. The quantum disturbances are increasing dramatically. Something big is coming. Outside, the sky turned a strange purple color. The air felt heavy, like before a storm. People around the world looked up in fear and wonder. Zervax requested an emergency meeting with Earth's leaders. Within an hour, the alien was addressing a virtual gathering of world leaders, scientists, and military officials. The quantum wave has accelerated beyond our predictions, Zervax explained. It will reach Earth in 4 days, not 7. We must complete our defensive network immediately. President Harrison spoke first. What do you need from us? We need your scientists to help calibrate our devices to Earth's specific quantum frequency. And we need your military to stand down completely. Any interference could be catastrophic. General Summers, who had ordered the missile attack, looked uncomfortable. How do we know this isn't the start of an invasion? Zirvax's eyes changed color, showing what seemed like sadness. If we wanted to conquer your world, we could have done so already. We have no interest in your resources or territory. We only wish to prevent your extinction. The alien paused, then added, 3 of our ships were destroyed protecting another world from a quantum wave last year. We lost 5,000 of our people. We take this risk freely, asking nothing in return. The room fell silent. This was new information. The aliens were risking their lives to save Earth. After the meeting, President Harrison ordered all military forces to stand down and cooperate with the Protectorate. Most nations followed her lead. A few remained suspicious, but agreed not to interfere. Samantha Lee organized a team of quantum physicists to work with the aliens. They needed to understand Earth's unique quantum signature to properly calibrate the protective devices. This is fascinating, Samantha told Olivia during a break. Their understanding of quantum physics is centuries beyond ours. The things they're showing us, it's like magic. Arthur C. Clarke once said that advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic, Olivia replied with a small smile. He was right, Samantha agreed. But here's the amazing part. They're teaching us, not just doing it for us. They want us to understand. Around the world, the strange phenomena increased. In London, a flock of birds froze in midair for 10 minutes. In Rio de Janeiro, gravity reversed in a small park, causing people to float toward the sky until they grabbed onto trees or benches. In Beijing, a building disappeared for 30 seconds, then reappeared exactly as it was. Fear spread, but so did a sense of wonder. Humans were witnessing things they had never imagined possible. Scientists recorded everything, gathering data that would change their understanding of physics forever, if they survived. On the 3rd day, Olivia was called to a special meeting. Zirvax wanted to speak with her alone. We have received concerning news, the alien told her. The quantum wave has developed a focus point. It will hit Earth with much greater force than we anticipated. Olivia felt her heart sink. Can your devices still protect us? Yes, but at greater risk to our ships and crew. The energy levels will be dangerous even for our technology. What can we do to help? We need to move people away from certain areas where the wave will hit hardest. We have identified 23 locations around your world. Olivia nodded. I'll speak to the president immediately. Within hours, evacuation orders went out for cities and towns in the danger zones. Most people complied, packing what they could and leaving their homes. A few refused, believing the whole thing was a government conspiracy. As the evacuations continued, Olivia worked with Alan to coordinate communications between the aliens and emergency services. They needed to make sure everyone was safe before the wave hit. Do you ever wonder why they're doing this? Alan asked during a quiet moment. Risking their lives for people who treated them with suspicion and even tried to attack them? Olivia had wondered the same thing. Maybe helping others is universal. Maybe advanced civilizations understand that we're all connected, regardless of what planet we come from. On the morning of the 4th day, the Protectorate ships moved into their final positions. The defensive network was complete. Massive energy converters hummed with power, ready to absorb the quantum wave. Zirvax sent a message to all of Earth's communication systems. The quantum wave will arrive in 3 hours. Please remain calm and stay in your designated safe areas. Our ships are ready. We will protect your world. People around the world gathered around televisions, radios, and computers. Many prayed. Others held their loved ones close. Some still believed it was all a hoax, right up until the moment the sky began to change. It started as a shimmer, like heat rising from hot pavement. Then the air seemed to ripple, as if reality itself was bending. The ripples spread across the sky, growing stronger by the minute. In orbit, the alien ships began to glow with bright blue energy. The defensive network activated, creating a web of light around the planet. Olivia stood outside NASA headquarters, watching the sky with Alan and other staff members. The air felt electric. The hair on her arms stood up. "It's starting," she whispered. The quantum wave had reached Earth. The quantum wave hit Earth with tremendous force. The sky turned deep purple, then a bright burning white. Light flashed across the world in patterns no human had ever seen before. The air itself seemed to vibrate with energy. In orbit, the alien ships glowed brighter as they absorbed the wave's power. Their defensive network strained under the pressure. Blue energy arced between the ships, forming a protective shell around Earth. Olivia watched from NASA headquarters, her hand gripping Alan's arm tightly. Around them, scientists stared at the sky in awe and terror. "It's working," Alan whispered. "They're holding it back." On screens inside the building, they could see data streaming in from around the world. The quantum wave was causing reality to bend and shift. In Japan, an entire mountain disappeared, then reappeared 10 miles away. In Brazil, a section of the Amazon rainforest aged 100 years in minutes. In Egypt, the Sphinx briefly came to life and looked around before turning back to stone. These events were frightening, but the alien shield prevented worse destruction. Without the Protectorate's protection, the entire planet would be breaking apart. In the command center, Olivia received an urgent message from Zirvax. "3 of our ships are failing. The wave is stronger than we calculated. We need help." "What can we do?" Olivia asked, feeling helpless against such power. "Your power stations. We need more energy to reinforce our shields." Olivia relayed the message to President Harrison. Without hesitation, the president ordered every power plant in the country to direct their energy to the alien ships. Other nations quickly followed suit. Around the world, cities went dark as power was diverted. To help the aliens, people sat in darkness hoping their sacrifice would be enough. In orbit, the alien ships absorbed Earth's power, growing stronger. But it wasn't enough. One of the ships began to break apart under the strain. Samantha Lee had been working with the alien scientists. She contacted Olivia with an idea. The quantum wave responds to conscious thought. If enough people focus their minds on strengthening the shield, it might help. It seemed impossible, but they had no other options. Olivia asked the president to send a message to everyone on Earth. Minutes later, a broadcast went out in every language. "Focus your thoughts on protecting our world. Imagine a strong shield around Earth. Do it now." Billions of people closed their eyes and concentrated. They imagined light flowing from their minds, strengthening the alien shield. It was a desperate measure, but something remarkable happened. The shield began to glow brighter. The failing ship stabilized. Somehow, the combined mental energy of humanity was helping. Zirvax sent a message. "It's working. Keep focusing. We sense your thoughts joining with our technology." For 12 hours, the battle continued. The aliens fought to redirect the quantum wave while humans provided power and mental energy. It was a partnership unlike anything in human history. Finally, the wave began to weaken. The purple light faded from the sky. The air stopped vibrating. Earth had survived the worst of it, but the cost was high. 5 alien ships had been completely destroyed. Thousands of the Protectorate crew had died protecting a planet that wasn't their own. When it was finally over, Olivia stood with President Harrison, General Summers, and other world leaders to greet Zirvax. The alien looked weakened but alive. "You saved us," President Harrison said simply. "We owe you a debt we can never repay." Zirvax made a gesture that seemed like a bow. "You saved yourselves too. Without your energy and mental focus, our shields would have failed." General Summers stepped forward. He looked uncomfortable but determined. "I was wrong about you. I thought you were invaders. I ordered the missile attack. I want to apologize." "There is no need," Zirvax replied. "Fear is a natural response to the unknown. What matters is that you overcame it when it mattered most." The days that followed, the surviving alien ships remained in orbit repairing their damage. The strange quantum effects gradually faded from Earth, though some areas would never be the same. The mountain in Japan stayed in its new location. The aged section of the Amazon became a scientific wonder. The Sphinx occasionally blinked when no one was looking. Humans began to help the aliens recover. Engineers offered materials and assistance. Scientists worked with the Protectorate to study what had happened and prepare for any future waves. 1 week after the event, Zirvax met with world leaders at the United Nations. The alien proposed a formal alliance between Earth and the Galactic Protectorate. "You are no longer alone in the universe," Zirvax told them. "We offer friendship and knowledge. In return, we ask only that someday, when you are ready, you join us in protecting other worlds." The vote was unanimous. Earth would join the galactic community. Later that day, Olivia walked with Zirvax in a quiet garden outside the UN building. The alien seemed fascinated by Earth's plants and animals. "I've been wondering," Olivia said. "When you first arrived, and we treated your warning like a joke, and weren't you angry?" Zirvax turned to her. "We were confused, not angry. In our history, we too were skeptical when another species came to save us. It seems to be a universal trait to fear what is different. But you stayed anyway. You risked your lives for us. Because life is precious, wherever it exists. Your world has such beauty, such potential. We could not let it perish." Olivia looked up at the sky, where the alien ships were visible as bright points of light. "What happens now? Now, your species takes its first steps into a larger universe. You will learn, grow, and someday you will help save others just as we helped you. And the quantum waves? Will they return? Perhaps, but not for many years. And next time Earth will be ready." 2 months later, the first human delegation departed for the Protectorate homeworld. Olivia was among them, along with Samantha and other scientists. They would be the first humans to travel to another star system. As Earth faded behind them, Olivia thought about how much had changed. Just a few months ago, humans had laughed at the idea of aliens coming to save them. Now, humanity was part of something greater than itself. Alan had decided to stay behind. "Someone needs to explain things to the folks back home," he had said. "And honestly, I'm a bit old for space travel." But before she left, he had given her a small gift, a button with the words, "Is this a joke?" printed on it. It was a reminder of how far they had come. Olivia smiled as she pinned it to her jacket. The next time aliens came to Earth, no one would ask if it was a joke.